Where we at?
Yeah, we had. It's coming up now.
Okay.
What's up, world? This is your boy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and welcome to another edition of Talking in the Hoops in the Sip. Talking Hoops in the Sip, the boys edition. We just got with the girls edition. Now we're on the boys edition. And so I am excited to be here along with my co-host, Lavel Shoes Johnson and Telante Webber. What up, fellas?
What's going on, EV? Glad to be here, ready to talk some hoops.
I see you got a lot of energy today. He got a lot of energy, don't he, Telante?
Hey, it's early, that's why.
I told you we got to get in there early, man.
Yeah, it's early. He got the lighting. He got the bright blue on today. Yeah, he is ready to go. So it's exciting times. Again, appreciate you guys for coming on. Make sure, like to thank all the fans who are coming on and people watching. Make sure if you're watching it, guys, to mute your background. It seems like I'm hearing a little feedback. I think that's it. But I also just want to again, before we get started, like thank our sponsor, Tatum Way Law Firm, located at 124 East Meat Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum and Wade say they are serious lawyers who get serious results. I say if you want to get paid, then you need to go to Tatum and Wade. And so I'm hearing a little background. Is that mine, yours? Is that somebody's? Is that you, Telante, or is that me?
What is it, a little roar? Like a little roar, EV?
Yeah, I'm hearing something. Let me see if it's. Is it good now? Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
Okay, good. All right, listen. Lot to talk about. Even though it was, it was Thanksgiving weekend. Didn't play a whole bunch of basketball, but it was still a lot going on. We got college basketball. Division I started, obviously. NAIA and Division II and JUCO, and some JUCOs and prep schools started a while back.
Yeah.
But the NCAA Division I started this week, along with we still have high school games, and so we'll try to jump in a little bit of all of that. How was you guys' Thanksgiving? As I shared on the earlier show, man, I just ate something good. I mean, we had everything from fried turkey to ribs to dressing, green potato salad. I mean, you name it, we had it. So, I've gained at least 250 pounds since I've been married over the last 26 years. And so my wife is, a lot to blame on where I am today with my weight. How was you guys' week?
Mine was great, man. I'm like you. I did a lot of eating. Got to get out there on the track. Got to get out on the track, try to lose some of this weight back down. Shoot. Other than that, just really took it easy, chill, spent a lot of time with family and friends. That's about it.
For me, it was good. I had a downtime. I teach, so we was off the whole week. So that was great to be off the whole week and I had to work it out. But I spent a lot of time. I did hit some gyms. I got to see a lot of little workouts. I spent a lot of time in Jackson. My girlfriend, she live up there, so I spent a lot of time in Jackson this week. I got to see some Jackson hoops, some guys I've never seen before. So it was great. It was a great time. I got to relax, so it was pretty good.
EV, I want to make mention there was one interesting result yesterday. Did you hear the result of the Holmes County Central Raymond game?
Yeah, I heard about it. Since you mentioned it, let's talk about it. That was, Holmes County. We can jump right in there. Holmes County. Let's not get it twisted. They can beat anybody on any given night.
Yeah, they're talented.
They are a talented team. They're still getting adjusted to the new coach. Their old coach last year, who took them deep, is now the principal. And so to go to Raymond and win, that's not an easy task. Raymond is one of the hardest places to win at. You're talking about Tony Tadlock, arguably one of the better coaches in the state. Has his team prepared. They play hard. They just a bunch of goons, and so to go in there and win that is big.
And they wanted despite a big day from the from Raymond's backcourt. I mean, I think if I recall right,
Dixon had 31.
Dixon had 31, and I think Robinson had like 24 or something for what I heard. 24.
Yeah, I think he had like 24, 25 and like 4 assists. So they did their job, you know what I'm saying?
Backcourt had a big day, but they were able to still overcome it.
Right. Touching on Holmes, I think Holmes County, they were still one of my top, you know what I'm saying, top 10 teams in the state. They've been having an up and down season so far, but those guys are still pretty good. I think they have a great mix of guys. They got some size, they have some guards, and everybody defends. So I think with Raymond right now, they have a young front court, and I think that's what's posed a couple of problems for them. I did get to see them play against Velma. They pretty much dominated Velma, though. Jermaine played. Jabbar Robinson, he didn't play, but they still ended up winning by like, I think 40 or something like that. It was a blowout. But the young guys, I think they're going to have to figure it out at the bottom, you know what I'm saying, the front court, like the bigs. But other than that, the guards, they're going to do their thing. But it was a good win for Holmes County, you know, coming off a loss to Hartsfield earlier in the week. I think they lost to them Tuesday by like 10. That wasn't an easy game. So that was a great bounce back win for those guys.
Yeah, that was. And when you're talking about, you know, we'll just shift right into it. You know, one of the things we're going to talk about today is the best duos. And so right there, you're talking about a duo at Raymond with Tremaine Dixon and Jabari Robinson, a very good. Tremaine Dixon usually, you know, for him to get 31, not saying he's not capable of getting 31, but he's usually the point guard that steadies the offense and gets everybody involved. But for, you know, he can shoot the basketball. He had a pretty good stat line. I think he had about 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, you know, to go along with the 31. He's like I said, he's an undersung, kind of underrated piece that didn't get a lot of hype compared to the other guys, but he's pretty good along with Jabari Robinson, who he's just a scoring machine. We just expect Jordan Jabari, he gonna get 25 every night, regardless. He doesn't. There's not too many shots that he doesn't like to take. I mean, he's looking to shoot that basketball now. That's just what he is. I mean, he's a scorer, and it's not that's. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that, you know, he is a scorer, and that's okay. You got to have guys like that. What do you guys think about that? You know, and then the other kid I want to talk about, a duo from Holmes County. We'll just mention them, Mr. and Lucci. I'm just calling them Mr. and Lucci because I'm, you know, the lefty. I can't pronounce their name. You know, the 6'7" kid, Mr. the point guard.
Xavier Thomas. Xavier Thomas is Lucci, and Amari and Hogan is Mr.
Yeah, you know what? People in Holmes County don't even know their real name. So how they gonna expect me to know it? I just know them as Mr. and Lucci, you know. So those guys, that's a pretty good duo for Holmes County, you know, as well. I saw them play AAU this summer, I think, with the Delta Heat, and they were. I was really impressed with them. It was real impressive. What are some guys, some duos that? Some more duos that you guys may have. Let's start with you, Telante, and then Shoes, and then I'll come and add a few more.
Well, I'll just talk about the ones I seen this week. I got to see I had to see 2 great duos play this week. With Lake Comerant versus Hartsfield. I got to see Josh Lee versus KB Brooks and Donovan Sanders. That was a great matchup. Lake Comerant ended up winning by, I think, like 10 or something like that, 10 or 12. Donovan Sanders, like I had tweeted out earlier last week. I think he's the best on-ball defender in the state. I've watched him lock up numerous top guards that we have around the state. And he just take a lot of pride on defending. And on the offensive end, he can get it done as well. He doesn't shoot it particularly great, but he is a capable jump shooter. But when we go into transition, he's probably one of the fastest guards I've seen in the state. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Ruffin is on a different level, but he's one of those next two guards that can get it done in transition at a high rate. KB Brooks, he's more of a wing for them. He can shoot the ball well. He can get to the basket. Big time slasher. He probably finished with like 20 something that game as well. But when he get hot, you know what I'm saying, he can get going and put up points in a hurry. And then the other duo, Josh Lee. Josh Lee had started. He started pretty well. He started well, then he kind of went cold. Then he picked back up on the toward the end of the game. I think he finished with like 23, but he shot it well. He has a big body. He did get to the basket with ease going downhill. And then, of course, Jonathan Lucas, the McNeese State sign, he gets it done in transition as well. He's long, athletic. So when he does get it going, he gets aggressive. He can put up points in a hurry as well.
Couple of backcourt. Couple of duos I want to mention. I'm gonna go with the duo at Oak Grove. Broomfield and Barnes. The Barnes probably should have been a Danny Does. He's a scorer. Wait a minute, let me get it right now. Yeah, Jay Barnes. That's his name. Jay's an outstanding scoring lead guard. He handles the ball. He can get to. He has a nice little nifty runner. He drains the three, and he has a scorer's mentality from the point. Broomfield, Dylan Broomfield. He's a big, strong body kid that I think he's projects as a wing down at the next level. I've seen him shoot the ball really well last year when he was able to play more wing. Right now, he's having to be more of a jack of all trades for him. Rebound, score around the rim, and go and just attack the rim for him. He's having to be a jack of all trades. I saw them both play earlier in the season down at Gulfport. Jay had 23. He had, if I recall right, 21. They both had was really good that day. The team has jumped out and started out like 3-0. They were supposed to play down on the coast yesterday at the Harrison Central Classic, but I heard that they've going through were they on
quarantine?
Quarantine, yeah, I can't think of the word. They're on quarantine right now for a minute. Another duo that I want to throw out there is Zandon Harrison and Kate Long up there at Center Hill. They've been putting in some work up there. They're really similar players. They both like big body wings, actually. Big body, big strong body wings, 3-4 guys. They both can rebound. They both can step outside and shoot the ball. So it makes them very interchangeable at the forward spots. They're going to probably be the guys that really carry Center Hill this year. And they started off strong at I think 4-1. I think it is at this point, maybe 5-1. They started off strong with the only loss to ECS out of Memphis. That's a really strong team. So they come out the reins real early, real strong. But I like those. Those are two duos I kind of wanted to talk about right there. What you got, ED?
Well, I'm going to go with, all those guys you mentioned, obviously John Lucas, Josh Lee, Barnes, Broomfield. I'm going to mention Ishmael Rashid and Terrell Dixon. Those are my duos at Brandon. Ishmael, 6'5" combo. I consider him a wing. He's really more of a wing, kind of point forward type, and, can run your offense. Terrell Dixon, 6'5", wiry, strong, can defend 4 positions. I think he can defend every position in high school. I think at the next level, he projects out defending. He can defend, depending on where he goes, maybe 4 positions, definitely 3. Long, athletic. Just got to continue to work on his skill set. Ishmael has to continue to just tighten up everything. He's really one of the most improved players that I've seen over the last couple of years. Also, you can't. I'm going to go a small school duo. Don't want to leave out our academies, our private schools. Jalen Bolden and Cam Brent. Two guys that make Jackson Prep go. Jalen transferred from Murrah last year. Tough kid, can score basketball. And Cam is, the general over there. He just runs your offense, and then he going to find a way to get about 15 points a game. And then, and then finally, two great, a great, very good duo in this state, in this city, Big Joe Dupree and Jamal Esco, led Murrah to a state championship runner-up. They ran into a buzzsaw, and Starkville really is a team of destiny. But Joe is a kid who, Joe Dupree's skill set is as good as anybody in the state. Joe's Jackson State signing, when Joe loses the weight, I think you're going to see a whole different type player in Joe Dupree. He's a face-up four right now, but once he gets down to about 210, 215, I think you'll be able to see him do some things on the wing. And Jamal Esco, if you are a low Division I program and you want somebody to run your team and as a pass first point guard who's tough as nails, and I'm going to debate you a little bit, Telante. I was with you. I was all the way there with you with Donovan Sanders until I saw Esco lock up a legend here in Jackson. He's a playground legend. He's a pickup legend who can ball. And you ain't seen him play, but you was knowing J-Rock. I saw him guard J-Rock something stupid the other day. And I'm telling you, Esco was in his grip, game point. J-Rock couldn't get that. I mean, he was ice on him. Esco was right there. And if he can guard J-Rock, there's no guard in the state that J-Rock can't destroy. I'm talking about none. He's 24, 25 years old. He is the real deal. And Esco was right in front of him. So I would love to see Donovan Sanders versus Jamal Esco one-on-one and guarding, because they can flat out guard. And so that I thought about that the other day when you talked about it, because I was right there, Sanders, and then Esco reminded me, like, no, man, you see me every day guard when I want, and he can guard. So that's a good one. And I think we all agree.
You're gonna be banned from Murrah, man. You better give Esco his due. You're gonna get banned from over there, man.
Hey, they know I keep it real with them, man. Esco can flat out guard, so that's a great duo.
We've actually kind of, I think we all kind of, I don't know if we were waiting on to talk about guards or whatever, but none of us have mentioned what is truly the best duo in the state.
Yeah, we were just waiting to do it like at the end.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. We were getting everybody else out the way.
Everybody else out the way. So we talk about this. That's truly the best pair, the best duo in the state. We all know that. We were talking about that before we came on the air.
Right.
So you want to do the honors, ED?
Yeah, I mean, it's Deshaun Ruffin and Kevion Hunt. And so, when you talk about two guys that, when in my opinion, you just don't want to see them coming, because Deshaun Ruffin, who can, anytime you score 50 points in 3 quarters, anytime you score 50 points in a 32-minute game, period.
Yeah.
That's something. But to do it in 3 quarters. And then here's the other thing. Forget high school. He did it at an 8 a.m. game in the greatest circuit in the country, in the EYBL. That had, like, when you do 50 points, a 50 ball at the EYBL, that's something special.
That's something special.
And then Kevion Hunt, any night can get you 20, because you can't stay in front of him. So those two are just, as they say on ESPN, you can't stop them. You only can hope to contain them.
Yeah. One other duo I'm gonna mention that Telante mentioned when we were talking earlier that I think we just kind of got to rolling and we've kind of skirted over some of the obvious guys as we did not mention the duo over there at MRA with Josh Hubbard and Phillip Hughes. You know, they're a pretty strong duo also. You know, Josh has just been phenomenal so far this season. I think he had a 40-point game the other night this weekend up in Memphis. You know, and Phillip has been very consistent. His score been high scoring for him, been pretty consistent for him as the second scorer for them also. They've been, you know, they've been really, really good also.
There's no question.
And then we missed we did talk about these earlier. We got Starkville, Green, and Colty Young. Of course, Starkville is undefeated right now. They've been pretty much steamrolling everybody. They don't look like, we talk about consistency. You're gonna see the same team with them pretty much every night. If you go see them play Monday, you're gonna see the same team on Tuesday. They don't really lose a beat. Both of those guys have been putting up probably about 14, 15 a game. Like I had said, we talk about every week. Starkville is a team. Nobody's gonna really, you know, just score 30 points every night. You're gonna get a contribution from a different group of people every night. That's a great duo. And another one that people need to look out for is from New Hope. You have LJ Hackman and Caleb Parr. LJ is a sophomore. He's one of the top sophomores in the state, obviously. And then Caleb Parr is a name that people need to get used to seeing because he can really hoop as well. So at New Hope, they went last year. Both of them played a lot of minutes for them. They went 20. I want to say they went 20-1 last year. They got put out by Holmes County in the playoffs by like 3 points, I think. And we all know Holmes County is no slouch. So that's going to be a great duo to watch for this season as well.
I just got a something on Twitter that I want to go ahead and mention. And listen, if you guys have, you know, we also can chat, and if you want to text me or whatever, because I'm not necessarily looking at the chat. But I saw another great duo that they mentioned. Somebody mentioned George Marshall of Forest Hill and Jamie Mitchell over at Forest Hill. That's another duo.
Bears keep an eye on this year. Definitely.
Yeah, that you want to mention.
One small school duo I want to mention is over at East Marion with Caleb Rawls and Bashan Sims. We talked in the past about the season Caleb is having. Bashan is coming off an injury. He missed last season. Before that, he was one of the higher ranked guys in this senior class. He's bouncing back. I've been talking to the coach. He's been playing well. He's been having a great, looking really good so far, and getting better and better as the season comes on. He plays himself into better shape. I think they are definitely a duo at the small school level that we got to keep an eye on. Get that ugly thing over there, Evie. Evie. Hey.
Yeah, I think Evie must be on Twitter or something.
Yeah,
most definitely, you know what I'm saying? Since we talking about Twitter, we got to go ahead and mention, guys. When we post something on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? I don't take offense to anything, you know what I'm saying? But for those who thought everybody was serious this week, we had the punter talk versus Florence battle going on Twitter. Guys, we just be having fun on Twitter. I just want to put that out there in case people thought it was serious. We just have fun. I'm not signed with no team, you know what I'm saying? I might come in something back. I might put the laughing emojis or something. I'm not signed with nobody, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who wins, you know. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Whoever wins, that's fine with me. I really don't care, to be honest with you. But it makes for good entertainment, you know what I'm saying? Like we had said, I would love to see a lot of those matchups. I wish we can just host a tournament next week, you know what I'm saying? Just put matchups together that we want to see. But
right.
We can do it that way. I wish we could, because there's a lot of people and teams that I want to match up against each other. But I have fun on Twitter. I'm sure everybody else do too. I don't take it personal. I hope you guys don't take it personal either.
Yeah, and I think you know, and that's a great point to make. You know, we all, and let's face it. I mean, you know, that's done all over the country. You know, we look at Stephen A. Smith and all these other ones, and we disagree with them every week, and different things. And ultimately, it's our opinion. Pontotoc and Raymond would be a great 4A matchup. And I'm glad that Darren Chancellor at Florence feels that he should think that his team would be in the mix. And so my thing is this: hopefully the season will continue, and we ain't got to talk about it. That's the thing. See, when you get in between them lines, we ain't got to talk no more. Like Nate Robinson, I didn't see the fight, but I mean, Nate Robinson was talking all this.
We got to talk about Nate.
Jake, the YouTuber, showed him something a little different. So we ain't gotta, you may think you're ready for that smoke, but you step in that ring, it's a different animal. And so shout out to Nate Robinson, man. Nate, man, you held it down for us, man. But I'm just gonna help you out with a song. You can get back up again. That's a we go with Donnie McKirkland. We fall down.
Hey, he went head first. He went head first to the canvas.
Yeah.
He look like Rulo Rick Slafford.
Yeah, I just pray because the way he went down, man. I pray he's okay. And from what I was hearing on Twitter, it was like he was a good sport about it. Nate Robinson is you're talking about a kid who was an NBA athlete, but could have been an NFL athlete. And so I can understand why he thought getting in that ring was something he could do. But it just lets you know sometimes you got, I always tell kids right now, stay in character. And so right now, Nate Robinson shouldn't ever get back in the ring ever again. Now, that's probably, and he probably, hopefully, would deter somebody else who thought, I think I'm gonna get in the ring.
Right. It's kind of like they say, you know what I'm saying? You can play other sports, but you can't play boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's for real once you get up in there.
I did see Evan Turner. Evan Turner played at Ohio State, 15-year veteran. He said he want to fight Jake the YouTuber. Hey, Jake the YouTuber needs to be called Jake the Boxer because he don't look like just no YouTuber.
No,
he look like a real deal boxer.
He looked like he knew what he was doing last night.
Yes, he did. And so that was funny. Let's move right along. Let's go with Talante. We're gonna have you talk about some teams that you've seen up north that you want to share about, and then Shoes, you can talk about the Gulf Coast, and then I'll try to hit on some of the JPS schools that haven't started yet.
Throw me to the wolves. They say around here, I favor the coast, so you're gonna give me the coast, you're gonna throw me under the bus.
I gotta, hey man, I know I ain't seen the people on the coast, so I trust your knowledge. So
I've been down there. I've been down there already, son.
And so T Webb, you talk to us about the North and some teams that you've seen and that you want to kind of highlight.
Well, of course, I'll just go ahead and start with Pontotoc. I think Pontotoc is going to be one of those teams that, if we do continue the season, I think they can make it to Mississippi State. I know everybody kept saying Jackson, but the championship is scheduled to be at Mississippi State if we do make it. So I think they can make it down to Starkville. Last year, I think they got eliminated. They got beat by Ripley, so
that was like right before they got to Jackson. They got beaten
right before you got to Jackson in the quarterfinals. So them versus Ripley, it was really a toss-up game. You know what I'm saying? Ripley was pretty good last year as well. But I do think they have definitely a big three, and I think they have some other pieces that can definitely help. Have a lot of size. So you have Rock Robinson, you have Joe Hayes Austin, and you got Gavin Brinker. So they do have a lot of size, and they have good guard play with some of the younger guys as well that come in and get a lot of steals, a lot of hustle, fast break points. So I definitely think Pontotoc have the potential to be there. Like we said, you got to play to get there, of course, but on paper, they're one of the stronger teams that we have in the North. So then, of course, we talked about them too much. Starkville, I definitely expect Starkville to be, you know what I'm saying, in contention to, I don't want to say make it to Starkville, but go down the street and have a chance to three-peat. I do expect them to have a great chance of doing that. And then let me think of a small school that guys need to watch out for. I got to ref their game last week. West Lowndes. They made it to I want to say probably the game right before the semifinal last year as well. They have a young team. They have one of the underrated guys. He's a sophomore guard. The guys need to watch out for. He probably had about 18. Darryl Brooks, he about 6 foot. He's a sophomore, 2023. I think they're going to be solid as well this year. I think they play in the 2A division, but that's probably a small ball club that guys need to definitely look out for. Anybody else?
All right, Shoes.
Well, I'm gonna start off talking about the coach, talking about the somewhat surprising. To me, it's not a total surprise, but somewhat surprising that Biloxi that started off, so strong. They're definitely looking like the best team down on the coast. They've been playing strong. They're 4-0, and they've been beaten. They haven't played another high caliber team yet, but everybody they playing, they beating the pants off of. I mean, 20 and 30 point games. They beat them pretty good. They're led by, I mentioned them last week, they're being led by a sophomore guard, Duran Parrish, 6'2" sophomore. He's been really going to work for him down there. It looks like Coach C, they're led by Steve Wyndham, who I consider one of the best coaches in the state. And he's given Parrish the keys to the car, and they've been playing some outstanding ball down there. They're looking like they may be the best team on the coast right now. At this point, they are. You told me to go to the coast, EV, but I'm gonna take that southern area, and I'm gonna ride back up the road to up there by Hattiesburg, talk about Oak Grove a little, because we gotta get them their due. I think they are a contender for the state championship in 6A. They got a pretty much a senior ball club. They're led by that duo of Barnes and Broomfield that I mentioned, but they've got some other guys. Jawan Sumner is a guard that I really, really like for them, and they got a couple other guys. They've got long ranges 6'3" sophomore Chaz Otis that looks like he's going to be helpful for him as the season goes on. They got beat like the game before Jackson last year. They got beat. Harrison Central beat them last year. And they had beat Harrison Central early this year, and Harrison Central got them later in the year. But I definitely think they're a contender for it. And small school wise, I mentioned the team earlier. I'm going to talk about East Marion. They play such a strong early season schedule. They play teams. They play a lot of upper level teams, 5A, 6A teams. They play. They got that win over Harrison Central that we talked about. They beat Newton, which is along their own line, but they also played, I think, Stone County. I think they might have played Stone or somebody good big. They're like 2-2 now, but I think they've got the pieces that you need to keep an eye on them. They're in the toughest 2A division probably in the state, because they're in the same division with North Forest and St. Patrick, North Forest has been to the semis the last 2 years. St. Patrick's one game short last year. So they're in the toughest division, but I think he's married with those two guys I mentioned earlier, Caleb Rawls and Deshaun Sims. I think they really got a chance to be really, really, really good and make a move in their division, 2A division.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna say this: and Harrison Central on a 4-game winning streak. They're back at 4-3.
They 4 and what?
They're back to 4-3. They started off 0-3. They're on 4 games.
Okay.
They're back to 4-3.
They're over 500 now.
They're back over 500.
All right, Jules. Congratulations. Your preseason number 1 is now 4-3. That's awesome. Usually, like in my thought process, usually a preseason number 1 after 7 games would maybe be 6-1, 7-0, probably not 4-3, but okay. Hey, you know what, Jules? Here's the exciting thing. If this season goes on, we keep saying if because we don't know what, but it would be crazy. You're going to have major energy if they in the state championship in Mississippi State. I can just see you right now. Your energy level is going to be, I told you, and I told you so, dude. So I know your energy level is going to be high. high at that time.
I'm just saying, don't count them out yet. That's all I'm saying. Don't count them out yet.
And
got a lot of talent.
And I'm with you. I ain't counting them out. I ain't counting them in. But I definitely ain't counting them out. I just went on what you said. All I know is they got my boy Fat Boy down there and Carlos Williams. And then they got Samuel Murray. So they got like that three-headed monster right there. You talking about, they should be. So I can see why you said that. I mean,
they got another a sophomore big named Eric Davis. It's about 6'6", 6'7" that's playing also. And he's been probably their most consistent player up to this point because he does all the dirty work. He's been doing the dirty work, especially with Carlos being, out for some games. He played last week in, I think, the last 2 games, but he was out for a while with that ankle injury. So the Davis kid is coming along too. So they got some talent. They just got to keep putting it together. Keep figuring it out.
I'm going to talk a little bit about 2 JPS schools that haven't started yet, but, I know everybody's excited to see. I know one of your favorite teams who he's coached, one of your favorite coaches that you love, Shoes, in
my boy.
That your guy, Dave Sanders.
I still love him.
Who is a 3-time state champion, defending state champions, Callaway Chargers. Let's just face it, when they have, it's going to be, the key is their supporting cast going to be good enough to help Deshaun and Kevion, because Deshaun and Kevion will carry the load. I know they have a new guy, AJ Richards, 6'7" kid, transferred. He came in from Lanier. Is Dylan Redmond the 6'7" boy? That's is that Joe's son? Joe?
Yeah, that's Joe's son.
Yeah, really talented young fella. He's got to step up this year. They have a freshman. I'm not sure of his name, but he's come in, and he's gonna be. I know he's gonna be a factor for him, a guard. That's gonna be pretty good for him coming off the bench.
They got a big sophomore, another sophomore that's got some size, and I can't call his name either. But
Trey Taylor, about 6'5", Trey Taylor.
I think Trey. Yeah, Trey. That's him.
Yeah.
They expect a lot out of him too.
Yeah. So Callaway, you can't. They're the defending champions, so you can't count them out. And then I will. The other team I have to talk about, my former team that I used to help out with, Murrah, the Murrah Mustangs. Coach Darrell, JJ Washington does a great job. He has, if you were doing trios, he arguably has, one of the top trios, let alone duos in the state, in Avon Johnson, Joe Dupree, and Jamal Esco. Those guys right there, they're only gonna go as far as those 3 guys take them. Those are gonna be the leaders. I expect Joe to lead them in scoring. I expect Avon to be right behind them, along with Esco running the show. They also have another guy. Like I said, I don't even know kids' full name. They got Boo. Boo is inside. They got Cortez, who's gonna be on the wing, and they got Sam, who's a shooter as well. They have Matt Vance, who's a rebounder, 6'5" rebounder, whom JJ Washington just loves his energy. And I say that, if JJ's watching this, he's gonna really get me for that one. Matt Vance is his guy. So they have a chance. They really miss Pillow though. Christian Pillow was coming back. I would have Murrah as a top 3 team in my own, mind. But Pillow not being back, going back to Texas, I think that hurt them as far as making a deep run. I think with, but they have the pieces in place. Once you've tasted state, you know what it takes to get there. So things, hit the right way, they could make another big run. So those are the 2 teams in Clinton that I'm not, 2 teams that we want to talk about. My 2 teams, along with the ones that you talked about. Let's move it right along. Let's talk about some of the best Well, one of the things you talked about, Talante, let's shift into this. I think this would be a good time. You talked about private school versus public school. And let's face it, that's something that people have talked about for years, not only here in Jackson, Mississippi, or in the state of Mississippi, but all over the country. There, in North Carolina, it's a big private school deal, and public school. But since we're talking hoops in the SIP, let's talk about hoops in the SIP. Is do you let's just get the elephant out of the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Do you respect the guy who's come from a public school and goes over to a private school? Let's talk about. Let's just go right to it. I personally think Josh Hubbard, J Hub, would score 25 to 30 in the public school as well. I just think he is that level of player. Even though he's scoring, 30 over at MRA, let's face it, MRA is a top private school who's beating the public schools. I think Josh Hubbard and even Philip Hughes, for example, would fit in just as well over in city schools as well. I think that he would put up. I definitely think Josh Hubbard will put up those type of numbers wherever he is because he's just that type of scorer. But tell me, let's talk about that. Tell me some of you guys' thoughts.
Well, to me, I go ahead. Like you said to me, I had seen. I'm trying to remember who posted. I think Gavin's mom had posted about the competition level, and to me, I know a lot of people probably question it because you look at some of the numbers that some of the kids put up in private school, kind of like, well, dang, you know what I'm saying? Who they playing against? It's kind of like I use perfect example. I know this might be bad because he was such a dominant force, but let's take Zion, for instance. When Zion was dominating, you know what I'm saying, private school ball in South Carolina, everybody was like, oh, well, he ain't playing against nobody. Well, let's see what he do when he get to college. He got to college, and I guess he was playing his private school guys there too because he did the same thing. So let's not get it twisted. The numbers, to me, if you can score with anybody. It doesn't matter if it's private school, public school, because let's face it, most teams only have, realistically in high school, most teams only have two really good guys, you know what I'm saying, that to play JUCO or maybe at the next level at all. And then you might have some guys that's playing basketball just to pass the time. So most teams only have two real hoopers, and everybody else is on the team. So, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, even like Josh Hubbard, we use him. Then he scored like 47 on Gulfport last year.
Yeah, he had a big game, 40-some point game on Gulfport last year.
You know what I'm saying? That's 40. As a freshman, that's 47 points. You know what I'm saying? So they're a public school. You know what I'm saying? So if you can put it in the hole, it don't matter who you playing against. They're gonna find a way to put it in the hole anyway. So, to me, going to private school, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the kid Josh Lee. He went to private school. I do think Hartsville with him and
John Lucas.
John Lucas over there, I think they probably gonna win state because they're just gonna be too dynamic for anybody but you know how basketball works, unless they have a bad night. I just can't see nobody stopping them over there in that league. But to me, I think, you know what I'm saying, like I had said, if you're a good scorer, I think you're gonna succeed at public school, especially in Mississippi.
I agree. If you can score, you can score. If you can play, you can play. I don't care where you're at. When people start talking about the level of play at the private schools, I think one of the things that often is forgotten is that the private schools, none of the private schools would be most of the private schools, probably 95% of them would be 3A on down if they came over to the public school ranks. So,
right.
I mean, we don't disparage the good 3A, 2A, 1A players. You know, I mean, there are some very good players coming 3A, 2A, 1A. The majority of the private schools will be along those levels. You know, so my thing is, if a guy can play, they can play. You know, I do understand you're not playing. Yeah, you're not playing the same. You're not facing the same team night. You know, overall personnel on the team at night in and night out that the five guys at 6 and 5A are facing. But you still, if you're really good, you still facing teams that are focused on stopping you. They're keyed on stopping you. They putting their best defender and their whole defense is keyed on stopping you. As a matter of fact, it's harder at a small school it's easier to get keyed on at a small school than it is at a big school, because the big school, you got some more talent around you. If you're really good at a small school, they're going to key on you. So if you're getting it done, you can get it done. I look at it that way.
Yeah, I think that especially when you're a big time player, a big time player usually is a big time player wherever they are. Now there can be, and again, you have to go prove it. And you made a great point, Telante, about Zion. The jury was still out. I can remember going and watch Dwight Howard. I happened to watch Dwight Howard. He went to a small Southwest Christian Academy in Atlanta, and although they played in some big tournaments, some of the teams I went and watched them play, I happened to watch probably 20 of his high school games, and they were garbage. They couldn't stop him. But let's face it, he was #1 pick in the draft. And they couldn't stop him in the NBA for a while either. So you're talking about, as much as he's been maligned here lately. You're talking about arguably. I think he's a no-brainer in an NBA Hall of Fame center.
Right.
So he did come from a private school. Now I do think there's some that obviously have gone to private schools and they made the transition, and they weren't as good. But for the most part, when I think of the ones here in Mississippi, you think of the John Lucases of the world. I think John Lucas, Josh Lee has already proven it. Josh Lee was at Velma Jackson and took them to won a state championship, runner-up and averaged 20, at that level. And so I think John Lucas is a kid that can translate as well. So
and to me, to close it off, like, it's some good private schools out there. I've seen some play. They play just as good as basketball as some of the public schools. And as you guys can see, it's not many public schools out there that you actually talk about. It's probably hundreds in Mississippi, but we probably only have about maybe 20, 25 upper echelons or super good schools. That's like in that top echelon. Everybody else is just decent. So some of them private schools, the top guys, they can go over there and smash those schools up. It's some sorry 5A, some sorry 6A schools. So it's some good private schools out there.
And one that come to mind, I just forgot about, just not thinking about, is St. Andrews. St. Andrews, they said, hey, they're private school. They said they didn't want to play. Can you imagine St. Andrews, in the private school? They won a public school 3A championship with Rashard Bolden and Garrison Wade. And so at the end of the day, just imagine them if they had played in the private school setting. I mean, that would have been I think they may have a few more championships, or, they definitely would have had it'd have been a different record for them per se. So they took the challenge to come on a public school, and they've done well. And I think, so that, that's there. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to, text us, please join the live chat. We're not necessarily looking at it. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe Telante may be looking at it. And feel free to chat. We go back and take a look at it. Anytime you want to make comments, inbox me. We'll try to talk about that. And reach out and try to get as much. We want to give as many shout outs, as much exposure to as many kids as we can. And so that's why we do this show. So moving right along, let's talk about, as we get ready to close it in these next 10, 15 minutes, let's talk about some of our best backcourts. Who are some of the best backcourts in the state?
Well, we've already hit on some of them in the best duos. Of course, you got to start with Deshaun and Kevion and Callaway. You got Josh Hubbard and Phillip Hughes over at MRA. You got the Raymond backcourt over there, the kids. and
Dixon Robinson.
Dixon, yeah, DeBoer Robinson, Dixon. You got to start with those three, I would think. I put the Starkville backcourt from what they're getting done. Green and Cody Young in there as a backcourt to pay attention to. A lot of other. I can't think about anybody else around my head that's a great duo because a lot of other teams their pawns make them better, and so they have more pieces around their backcourt. There are so many interchangeable guys that can be in the backcourt that it's hard to pick two out. Like with Oak Grove, it's hard to just pick two guys out. That's in their backcourt, of course, because like I say, Broomfield really is kind of playing more of a forward this year. So it's hard to just say that they're a backcourt.
I'm gonna jump in because I've been wanting to mention this kid. He's kind of underrated, but I will go with the backcourt at Oak Grove. I can't think of his first name, but Thompson. He can shoot the basketball. He played Thompson and Jay Barnes. Thompson is one of the better shooters in the state. He's definitely underrated. So underrated, we forgot to mention him on the underrated. And so that is a very good backcourt for
Raheem Thompson or something like that.
Yeah. He played with he played on the AAU. They played AAU together. He's a very, he had the big fro going earlier. He can shoot, flat out shoot it. I would definitely say they're a very good backcourt.
We had Mr. Duo. Somebody had told me Kamani Hamilton and Omarion Lust from Clinton duo that we missed.
Okay, I'm gonna say this about Clinton. When you look at Kamani Hamilton and Clinton, I look at them, and Omarion. I love Omarion Lust, but I just look at Clinton as a
collection of guys.
Collection, that's right. It's almost like, and don't take this the wrong way, Clinton. It's like Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. It's like Kamani Hamilton and like the Clinton 10, because Kamani is the, let's just face it, he's the star. But then the rest of those guys, man, they got a wave of guys, on that Clinton team. But we, for the sake of, we don't have no problem mentioning that. But you got Jeremiah Foster, you got Allen Hughes, you got, you got some Michael Bell, you got some. You got the boy off the bench, Malachi, I think his name. You got some players over there, Clinton, man. So I don't know, Clinton's almost like the they're like the Avengers, man. They got just a bunch of pieces right there. I was trying not to even mention Clinton today because Clinton, you notice I went away. I won't even say nothing about Clinton because I've been talking about Clinton the last two times, but but thank you for the shout out for mentioning that. We'll mention it since you did mention. See, if you text us and you talk to us, we'll put you on the show.
We'll give you some.
We'll give you some love. I'm gonna give a shout out too, and I don't know if I mentioned this young man who I think he's definitely. I may have mentioned him last week. He was on my all underrated team is DJ Harrod from Warren Central. I know he holds a Hines Central offer. We were talking about best defensive guy. I don't,
right.
DJ does lock up. He gives the effort.
Oh yeah.
DJ is the type of kid. I saw him play. With Nick. God, what is? I lost. What's Nick's name? Nick's last name. Huh?
Nick Council.
Nick Council. Nick, I'm so sorry. And I know his dad's watching, man. I just, charge it to my head, not my heart. Charge whatever, however the saying is. But I first saw DJ last year with him. He's a young man that, I'm happy to see that Yusuf Fitzgerald from Hines went on and offered him because I think he's a kid that can play. He doesn't get a lot of pub. I saw him at your camp. Telante played really well, defended really well. I like that kid. And so I wanted to just, make sure. I thought I mentioned about the underrated, but I wanted to at least mention him again if I didn't.
Even when we're talking about backcourts, like we're talking about duos, we're talking about backcourts, but like when we mentioned Starkville, we dropped the ball on mentioning Jamarius Phillips who's who's just as important and is having just as good a
Absolutely.
season as Green and dang, I get and Coach Green
Green,
and
Coach.
Yeah, he's having as good a season as they are. He was their leading scorer at the Holmes Central when I went to see him. He had the big play at Holmes Central when I saw him play. So I mean, that's why sometimes it's hard to pick out a duo because some of these teams actually have 2 and 3 guys that can play.
Right.
And more guys that can play than just 2. Yeah.
Let me get a shout out to Newton Mealer. Newton Mealer, let me just say this. Newton Mealer of Center Hill. Newton Mealer of Center Hill is like one of the greatest. Like, he's a guy I would love to play for because, man, I'm telling you, not only is he very knowledgeable obviously played the game at a high level at Southern Miss, but man, he gonna push his kid. Not only is he pushing Caden Laws and my man for the best duo, now he pushing them to be the best backcourt. Now, Newton, coach, they not a backcourt. We already talked about the best duo, but now wait a minute. You gonna say, coach, you gotta talk to me about that one. All right, and coach, we're gonna get you on the show here. So we're gonna get coaches and some fans and other players throughout. But come on, coach, backcourt. They have now. I'm a Caden Law fan, but he backcourt. Come on, coach. We love you, coach. Now we.
And I got a couple other guys. I went to check out. I know they're an underrated team in Jackson. I went to check out some guys work out from Pearl. This kid Matthew Robinson, he about 5'11", number 2 swimmer in the state. He's been solid for them. I think he averaging like 25 a game. He leading them in points and rebounds. He like a super duper athlete over from Pearl.
Wow.
Number 2 swimmer in the state. I think his brother, number 1 swimmer in the state. He's a freshman. And which is crazy, you know what I'm saying, especially being from Jackson, that these guys are like the 2 swimmers in the state. I found that interesting. And then this other kid from Pearl named, let me see what his name is. He's a 2022 Ricardo Whitelow. He's averaging about 17 and 7 assists a game, plus 5 steals a game. So I think they play like 3 games. So those are a couple of underrated guys. I know Pearl probably doesn't get a lot of love in Jackson, being in the area that they're in, that's dominated by, you know what I'm saying, superb players. So those are a couple of guys I need to shout out as well.
And we shout out to their coach, Jason Kennedy, who's watching the show. So, Coach, you see, we gave you your players some love. Telante, also, don't they have a 6'5" kid that came to your camp?
Keandre Woods.
Yeah, he's a kid.
I think he like one of the top high jumpers in the state as well. High jumpers. Yeah, I think he one of the top.
I haven't seen Pearl yet, but they must be athletic. I was really looking forward to last week. Biloxi was supposed to come up here and play, but Pearl, once they went on quarantine for school, they had to cancel that game. But I was really looking forward to going over to see them last week.
Oh,
so, yeah. Reschedule that game.
Speaking of that, as we get ready to wrap it up, what are some, what are some games, we know any games this week that we need to get out? And if people are let us know some games this week we need to try to get out and check out, and we'll try to get out and see them. Y'all know any this week per se?
Well, look, we getting hit up on the chat line hard about the Jackson Prep Hartsfield game later next Saturday.
Okay, Jackson Prep Hartsfield.
Cam and John on our chat line going at it.
Cam and John
on the chat line going at it.
Hey, well, Jackson Prep was in the overall state championship last year. So I happened to watch. I have seen Jackson Prep play this year, and they have Cam and Jalen. They got some other kids, and they got a kid that transferred from Provine. So that's gonna be a pretty good game. I mean, we're gonna have to I'm gonna try to make that game to see Jay Lucas, Josh Lee, Cam Brent.
You mentioned Provine, and they haven't hit the court yet. And we kind of iffy about how they look at this. But if they hit the court with the backcourt of what's the kid? The 2 kids what was our sleeper guy? The kid that had the great summer. Oh my God, I forgot his name.
It ain't Mark Drummond, is it? He not going there. Mark Drummond not going.
Provine or Forest Hill?
Provine. If they hit Devin Bates, if they hit the court with Devin Bates and the shooter, what's my shooter's name?
Samarian.
Grant. If they hit the court with those two, they've got to be mentioned as one of the best backcourts in the state.
Hey, listen, and then they got the little point guard,
JJ too.
Yes, sir.
JJ.
Oh yeah, they got
now,
JJ
as a freshman.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be tough for some guys to stay in front of him. You know what I'm saying? He a dog, so I think he'll be a great addition over there with them guys.
He's already, in my opinion, has the best floater in the state.
Ooh. I love JJ. He played for me with Team Mississippi. I think JJ he definitely a top 5 guy in the state, you know what I'm saying, for a freshman. So I haven't seen all the guards in the state, but I definitely think he's up there with the best of them.
Yeah, if Provine hits the court with that group, we got to give them a nod as one of the best backcourts, probably.
I agree with you because Devin Bates, Devin Bates only issue. It's just Devin Bates. Devin Bates is.
And Samarian is one of the best shooters in the state.
Yes, hey, his not Shamarion, but you made me think of our guy Tamarion, our scout. Tamarion. We want to give a shout out because we couldn't. The best like another backcourt that we forgot to mention tonight is, and I forgot the kid's name that I wanted to. They got a guard over there at South Pike. Number 4, and forgive me for getting the name right now. Make sure you inbox me, and because we talked to go along with. He's a very good guard. I saw them play against at a Holmes County thing. They lost with Jabari McGee.
Yeah,
Jabari McGee. Now tomorrow we mentioned your man, Jabari McGee. I think Jabari McGee is a Division I prospect. I think he will do well at right now. I consider him, and you'll hear us say this, low major, high major. I believe he's a low major Division I prospect who would do well in the SWAC, the Southland Conference. As he continues to improve, then who knows? But right now, that's where I have him. I think he's he's an athletic kid who plays with high energy. I think he has to continue to improve his shot, even though I know everybody.
You want to know the funny thing, EV?
Yeah.
I was talking to Martin the other day. We were talking about that exact point. Before this summer, that's what he did best: shoot the ball. He was a dead-eye shooter his freshman year and last year. I guess all that extra weight work to help build up his body and everything has thrown his shot off. Because you're right, it doesn't look the same. But before coming out of last year, that was his strength. The fact that he shot the ball so well.
Well, I can only go. I tell people this. I can only go on what I see. And I think he's, like I said, an okay shooter. I first saw him at Talante's event, and he was
he played with motor. He played with a motor.
Yeah.
Showed athleticism and toughness. From where I saw him last year, from last year to there, he definitely has increased his bulk, his strength, and his athleticism over the summer. He's definitely done that. I have to give him that.
Right. And so I think he's a talent. But like when we talk about Division I, there's 335 Division I schools, and there's Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Those are considered high majors. Tennessee, and then you got Jackson State, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley, Southeast Louisiana. Those are considered low majors. And see, my thing is this: go where you can go and dominate. If you're not a kid that's going to go, there's a lot of kids that can go and play, be on Mississippi State team. Can Jabari McGee be on Mississippi State team? Absolutely. Can he make Can he make their team? Yes. Now my question is, when will he play? That's the question. And now we don't know. I don't think he comes in like as a freshman and plays. I think that I don't know if he comes in as a sophomore and plays. So now you've wasted 2 years of your time. Do you go there or you go somewhere like a Southeast Louisiana, Jackson State, Alcorn, where maybe you play as a freshman. You maybe be in the rotation. You're that 8th or 9th guy. So that's kind of what, when kids are making decisions, don't take it personally. Like, I think John Lucas is playing at the level he's going to play. I think, he's going to McNeese State. That's a good level for John Lucas.
Right. They actually got people leaving. So, you know what I'm saying? He'll go in and probably get some time right away.
Right. And even if he doesn't, he can go there and get stronger, get acclimated to the system. And then eventually, let's say he goes in redshirt. Well, now as a redshirt freshman who has 4 years left, he's going to get minutes. You see what I'm saying? So that's the right level for him. I think Joe Dupree playing at Jackson State, he goes in, gets in shape, gets a year to get in shape. Now I think as a redshirt freshman potentially, he plays for them. See, that's how to me you determine your level. Do you play within the first 2 years? It's not like football. In football, you can have a quarterback only play for 1 year and he's an NFL prospect. It doesn't happen that way too many times in basketball, in my opinion, in the 28 years I've seen. So I think you have to go know your level and go there. And please don't look at, because I want you guys to understand something. For a lot of you guys who think you can play like that, a lot of you who were talking about D1 couldn't go to Tougaloo or William Carey and start, who are NAIA programs, to keep it real. You couldn't go to Mississippi College and start and play in the Gulf South Conference. Those are legitimate leagues. You're just not going to go there and just like, oh, man, I'm too good for that. No, you ain't that good. So let's not get it twisted. We have to remind guys sometimes, you ain't going to just go in there and dominate. It don't work that way. So, so anyway, man, as we get ready to close, man, wrap it up. Let's let y'all have any final words, Shoes. We'll let you go ahead and say anything you got final, and then Telante, you can, and then we'll just wrap it up and close it up.
Well, I'm just gonna say, as we've been saying all the time, we just gonna keep hoping that we get that at this point, from this point forward, we get to continue to see some basketball, man. That's just my biggest thing I'm concerned about. Hopefully we get to continue the season. Hopefully that football championships will be wrapping up this Friday. This Friday and Saturday. It's kind of been our scary.
Oh, Green Wave.
I've been out scared.
5 Pete, baby, going 5 in a row.
so we all got to be on the edge to see what happens come next week after this week. But hopefully we'll get to continue having some basketball.
And I'm kind of like Shoes, you know what I'm saying? I've been my referee app been blowing up, getting games scheduled. I'm thinking to myself, after the football championships this weekend, they probably gonna cancel. I hope they don't, because I really want the season to continue. But I think we might get a pause until about maybe January. I'm thinking that might be what they do, and just start back with region play, district play, whatever you want to call it. I want the season to continue because there's so many what ifs. You might have to quarantine, so it's just so many what ifs. To like, I had told one.
We got to get in that Pontotoc Raymond game. I mean, that Pontotoc.
Hey, look, hey, don't say that.
I want to get the Pontotoc Raymond. I want to get the Pontotoc floor.
Hey, don't say that. They're gonna get on there and mention us on Twitter as soon as we get off of here. But whoever make it, I'm just interested to see who can, you know what I'm saying, survive. Who can survive the COVID pandemic? Who can stay clear of not having to forfeit who's going to be able to miss 2 weeks and come in and still compete at a high level against a team that's probably still been playing. So it's just so many like Carter's dad had said, you know what I'm saying? You don't want any excuses. So it's just going to be, you know what I'm saying, who can stay in shape those 2 weeks they're off and who can come in mentally ready to go when they do get a chance to come back. But in January, we might have the vaccine, so you never know. We might not even be worried about having to skip 2 weeks. So it's just so many what ifs that you don't even know. So that's my part on that. I love for basketball season to keep on going. It's my favorite time of the year. We still got 3 months left: December, January. Well, actually, almost 4, all the way into March. So I'm just ready to see who can make it down to Starkville, to the hump, to get it on.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys for coming on. Appreciate everybody for watching tonight. Make sure you share, subscribe, like, turn on the notification button. We're going to get this thing popping a little bit better. You know, we're going to try to be on Facebook, and we're going to try to continue each week to get better. Make sure if you'd like to be a sponsor like our sponsor, Tatum Wade, please hit me up. And again, appreciate Great Shoes Johnson from Mississippi Hoop Report and Talante from Southern Sports Platform. I'm Eric Vaughn from the Geeky Report podcast. Please have a good evening.